I've gone from playing Half-Life to living a half-life where everything is half work but also half not. Because when you're doing YouTubing for a living and you have two channels that can be half but not quite all about anything in particular, where's the line? Believe me, it's great fun at the end of the financial year to try and figure out what ridiculous stuff I can get away with as a business expense. Does a game that I've bought to test upscaling on count as a business expense? What about that bus ticket to the sewage works for footage for kliksphilip? A business trip, I might add, that ultimately shaped the face of CS2's water forever. And what about my trip to Cologne? Is that business or leisure? Pleasure? I don't know. I never know how to respond when asked. I don't know at the airport, and I never know when I'm signing up to something online, because there's never a YouTuber profession that I can tick. There are options that only ever half fit my situation, either entertainment or media or audio or advertising, but nothing fully fits. When I started out, people seemed sort of impressed when they discovered I was a YouTuber, but not anymore. Maybe work from home has given everybody a taste of the lifestyle and the prestige of working in your underwear has gone. Maybe it's an age thing, where 30-somethings don't watch nor care about YouTubing as much as teenagers and 20-somethings do. And yet, people still seem really confused about what I do and how I make money from it. I have a bit of a confession to make. I never fully understand what people do for a living unless it's super literal and obvious, like a bin man or a footballer. But I figured YouTubing would be easier to explain than most. But it's like there's some nuance to it that makes it impossible to properly explain how I make money from it, or why I do it, or why people would want to watch me. Even within the realm of YouTubing, my content falls down an indescribable niche that's halfway between gaming and technology, but neither describes it properly. There was a moment on The Apprentice that I remember vividly, where in the interview stage, one of the applicants was asked why they wanted to go from running their own business to being a small part of Alan Sugar's. And they responded with this analogy where they wanted a smaller slice of a larger pie, and that response didn't go down too well, because surely you'd want to be in charge of your own pie if you're some kind of entrepreneur, fully in control of its ability to change and to grow and so on. And I find the Click Empire's pie to be one that's rather unique, living on the edges of all sorts of topics and other pies. kliksphilip is about Counter-Strike, but it isn't really. I don't play it. I mean, sure, I did for a while and followed the pro scene, but I got into Counter-Strike because of Half-Life 2's mapping and Counter-Strike's bot support. A perfect combination. And in recent years I've returned to that aspect of the game, with its updates and new maps and stuff like that. It's a miracle that kliksphilip's niche has somehow made it to the mainstream and is still driving the Click Empire success, because kliksphilip and this channel are more lost than they've ever been. Even YouTube's research section doesn't have a clue what these channels are about, nor what the associated topics and channels could be. And I find myself in an odd situation where I have so many unique skills, yet I'm not sure of how they could be of any value to me beyond my YouTubing existence. Luckily, YouTubing seems to have more longevity than I first gave it credit for, and I'm half hoping it will last for long enough to let me cruise through my adult life without ever discovering how useless or useful I am elsewhere. It still seems so unlikely I landed in this position in the first place. Many people leave education without a clue of what they want to do, then 10 years later they still don't know, yet seem to have found themselves somewhere that sort of works. Many people probably never know what they want to do, nor how to get there. I totally relate to this, but only half of it applies to me. Sure, I never knew exactly what I wanted to do, and just happening upon YouTube when it was new and untested, I felt it was exactly what I wanted to do. But YouTubing changes, and so have I, and now I'm not so sure anymore. I don't have anywhere I'd rather be instead, so I'll just cling to what I've got, and to what I've always done, and to hope that it continues to work for me. I have other things I want to be doing, but I feel like YouTubing is the platform for me to launch those other ideas from. So if I want to do those things, I'm stuck with YouTubing in the meantime. I just don't know how to make the leap, nor where exactly that will take me, and while YouTubing's successful, I feel I may as well dedicate my time to doing it. Not just full time, but all my time, where I may start working at 9 in the morning, and aside from lunch and dinner and a snack at some point and a chat with a friend at another, I find myself working all the way through till about 2 or 3 in the morning. I actually feel a bit jealous of jobs that are defined by 8-hour workdays and where you get 2 whole days off a week. If I was Elon Musk, I'd claim I'm doing 100-hour weeks here, but I can't really say I'm working, because I live a half-life where everything is half work and half not. Because when you're doing YouTubing for a living, and you have 2 channels that can be half but not quite all about anything in particular, where's the line?